Yeah, man, it's Kevin Christian. And as these gang stalkers that I'm dealing with, they continue to attack my head sporadically. You can literally feel the broadcast. Just it's a microwave broadcast, all right, and you can feel the broadcast going into your skull, and it's a very painful thing, and it's not like a normal type of pain. So um, it's easily distinguishable from some ordinary type of pain. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people that are going through this, they have no idea that this is what they're going through. A lot of people probably just think they have some sort of migraines or something like that. But with these gang stalkers I'm dealing with, I know that they're doing it, and they know that I know, and they're doing it intentionally. And I mean, it's very sporadic. Sometimes they'll continue to do things for hours upon hours. Um, I mean, I hate to even mention it, but I already thought of it, so so they got it anyway. If you think of something, they get it. All right, they can receive you and everything that your mind is processing. So, I've some people try to be quiet, like, oh, I'm talking to somebody on the phone. A targeted person wants to talk about theirs. Like, I don't know if I should say this. They're listening. Well, did you think it already? Because if you did, they already got it anyway. But a lot of times with abdomen torture, when they go into my stomach area with broadcasts, they'll do that for hours upon hours, like 4 or 5 hours at a time, and it's just very debilitating. But this head attack thing is, I mean, it's bad, man. It makes me feel like my life is in imminent danger, is what it makes me feel like. Like they are trying to murder me, is what it makes me feel like. It hurts and it's really bad. But it brings me to the question, what are these guys trying to accomplish? All right, what is a gang stalker trying to accomplish with this? Now, obviously, it's not just killing me dead. I'm not dead, and they've been doing this kind of stuff to me for the first time I recall really going through this with the head attacks was um, March 2017. Okay, and I was going through a trial in court way back then, and um, it was it was the same guy that's doing it now, and he had just recently, like maybe 4 or 5 months before that, he had became the main gang stalker on my channel. He had gotten the main position, like the first gang stalker. So before that, there was another guy, and he had two girls on with him, and then um, they kind of filtered out, and it left the one girl, and then this guy got on with her. He had already been on and off, but he never had the main position. But at probably September 2016, he got the main position with her. They were like the two main gang stalkers, and then she kind of started filtering out around the beginning of the year, um, 2017. So um, and throughout the beginning months of 2017 was when I really first started to experience a lot of violent torture that was hurting me really bad. And you could really go back and reference, probably I was probably talking about it publicly back then, on something or another, doing wherever I was talking back then, whether it was SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever, Facebook, wherever I was talking about it. I'm sure that I was talking about this guy attacking my head in violent ways. And so I remember going through that, where he really started attacking my head really bad, and I felt like it was going to kill me, back in, I think, March 2017. So um, for the last 3 years, it's been pretty steady, these attacks, but it's not killing me instantly. But I do have a lot of concerns about it for my long term health. I mean, it can be good for you. These microwave broadcasts attacking you, it hurts really bad. So it's obviously causing some problems. I mean, anything that's hurting you, um, if you're having physical pain from something, then it's hurting you. And there's not a physical pain because it's not hurting your body. So it is causing damage to your body. And really, for the last few hours sporadically, they've been attacking my head a lot. And like I said, it brings me to the question, what are they trying to accomplish? And since it's not instantly killing me, they're either trying to accomplish one of two things or both, to cause death long term, okay, um, to kill me over time. And if they're not trying to do that, then they must be doing it um, for their own pleasure, just to hurt somebody. They like to hurt people. And it's very possible that they're doing it for both reasons. Um, I feel like sometimes that they're trying to punish me because they're jealous of me, because they wish they could be like me, or they wish they didn't they wish they weren't them. They wish they weren't themselves. They wish they weren't older. They wish they didn't waste their lives away. They wish that they were cooler. They wish something. They're mad, and they're trying to take that out on somebody. And I mean, it's like abusive, typical abuser type of stuff, really, where they want to take out their own um, shortcomings on somebody else who doesn't have those. And I feel like I could have did a lot better over the years. Um, really, especially over the last 10 years, I really could have accelerated my life to a way higher level. But instead, I got mixed up with the wrong girls, and I got mixed up in this thing where these people are gang stalking me, and I not blaming them. Okay, it is their fault to an extent, to a certain extent, um, but I did allow that to cause my life to go into a downward spiral in the beginning. Okay, and for the first couple years of being gang stalking, experiencing artificial telepathy and EMF broadcast, I was pretty taken by the whole experience, and most people are, if not everybody, who has the misfortune of starting to experience this. What I've done is try to make it more of a positive thing. Since they're doing this to everybody, then I want to expose them. Since this is happening, and they're just morons that are just addicted to mind control, and they're using this technology to gain the type of power that they could never have otherwise. And so, um, ultimately, there's a lot higher ranking people as far, and there's not a structure. So don't take me the wrong way. There's not some program, and these gang stalkers have been contacted and employed or whatever. It's not like that. Somebody gave them access to neural monitoring. Okay, somebody else who's a gang stalker and gave them access to neural monitoring. So now they are on neural monitoring just like you are. And they have access to it, so they're able to control their own settings. They're able to connect to people unconsensually, and they can use it. They can use it in every kind of way that they want to, and they're on the same thing that you're on. You just don't have access. I don't have access. So they're using it as a weapon against us. But ultimately, this technology was developed way back whenever, probably 50 plus years ago. And people like this, within the last probably 20 years, have been filing in, getting access to it because it was leaked. It was leaked intentionally. And whomever leaked it intentionally, they had a really good idea of what was going to happen when they leaked this technology into the hands of the public, and a bunch of idiots got access to it. They knew that it was going to turn into something like this. I'm sure they probably watched very closely in the beginning, but and that's what happens. These gang stalkers get it, and they've never been amounted to anything. They've never amounted to anything in their life, and now they have this, and they're still not amounted to anything. But it gives them this sense of power, and um, they have a lot of mental issues, is what this boils down to. These gang stalkers, these people that use this technology to hurt other people for their own pleasures or to kill people or over jealousy or whatever the reason, or if not all of the above, they are doing this because they have mental disorders. They're not successful, they're not intelligent, they're just haven't done anything with their own life. And I think that they're a little bit bitter about that. And I think that they're abusive because of who they are and where they come from, and the fact that they know that they're never going to be anybody or anything. And so now here it is Monday. It's a Monday. The second was the second. Check my meter while I'm at it. No broadcast turn on now, but it is, yeah, March the 2nd, 8:35, 8:53 p.m. I was looking at that in my screen. 8:53 p.m. March the 2nd, 2020. It's a Monday, and Mondays are the worst for me because on the weekends I always have a lot going on, and what I believe is that other gang stalkers get, the weekenders, they get access and do live streams, and they're all connected to me, and using my neural monitoring, connecting all these gang stalkers that have access to neural monitoring that don't usually do this 24/7. They want to participate on the weekends. So then the guys that I deal with, they usually kind of have to take a step back, just a step. All right, they don't quit talking, and they don't quit attacking me, but it's always a lot less. And then come, Monday, it's always the worst. Mondays through like the first half of the week is usually the worst, and they've not been able to do what they want to do throughout throughout the last couple of days. So the first couple of days of the week, it's almost like they're playing catch up. So it's very consistent that Mondays are really bad. The weekdays are always the worst, and it's because uh, I'm on a routine. You could call it predictable or whatever. I have a schedule that I keep. Most people do, and it becomes something that they start to fall into. So they pretty much operate around my schedule, and when it comes to the weekends, I don't have a schedule. Okay, I do certain things, I do different things, I do whatever I want to, but during the week, um, about half of what I do is consistent, and they can operate off of that, and they know that they get the front position, and they utilize that, and they get to do their live streams. And as it's been for years, their live streams are about attack and torture, and that's what I have to deal with. So it's difficult. It is difficult, and um, even though you get used to it, it's never become something that's okay. When they start attacking my head, um, or my heart or my genitals, it's always bad. It always hurts, and it's always a problem for me. And it always immediately gets me into gear. Like, what can I do? I need to do more. And so I start trying to figure out more to do all the time. So anyway, I actually haven't done any interviews on my channel for several months. I don't think it's probably been 2 or 3 months at least since I've done any interviews, and I was doing them pretty often. Um, I have some people that say they want to do them, but nobody's been real serious about that lately. I know a lot of you guys are new. I don't know if you've seen the interviews. My subscribers, it's never stopped going up since I started doing this, and it still continues to go up. Um, and I'm thinking that it's going to continue to go up, and that's because more and more and more people start to have this type of experience where somebody that has access to neural monitoring has started gang stalking them, but they don't have access, and so more people are becoming targeted. So if you're new to my channel, I appreciate you watching my videos and subscribing. Also, there's a playlist, the targeted individual interviews, and there's probably a good 40 on there now. And if you're interested in doing one of these interviews and talking about how it's been for you and telling your story, if you want a big audience, I got it right here. We can do it on my channel. You can watch some of those if you want to see how it's done. I haven't done them lately, but I'm definitely better at it now than I was when I very first started to do interviews. So, you know, and it's really not about me when I interview you. It's about you and you telling your story. And I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to belittle you or make fun of you. I'm going to let you tell your story. If I think you're absolutely wrong about something, I'll give you my opinion. But otherwise, really, you could just tell your story and talk about how it is and how it's been for you to be targeted, especially you guys that are experiencing artificial telepathy. That's like once you're experiencing that and you're under attack by a broadcast, and that's the full blown gang stalking, because this is really gang stalking and neural monitoring is mostly about broadcast stuff where whoever's doing this to you is they're sitting at home, okay, and they're not out following you around. Although there's can be people following you around. It's happened to me and hasn't in a while, but it used to. There would be people following me, but they would be connected to the people that were at home on the headsets, on the mind control, the EMF mind control headsets receiving you. So that everybody would always know what was going on, and they can talk to each other with the artificial telepathy too. So it's all about the settings on the neural monitoring, which is online. Um, and I really appreciate you guys. I'm pretty sure that I've just passed 1 million views on my channel. The statistics are showing 999,000 and like 400 or 500, but that's been up for like a day and a half. It hasn't updated, so when it updates, it's definitely going to be way over, like well over a million. So right at about 4 million minutes watched, which I believe is probably about somewhere in between 7 and 8 or 9 years worth of time. So it's a big accomplishment for for me personally, considering I just came out to, you know, this is what's happening to me. And then I realized a lot of people were very confused about really how this works. And I had a different perspective um, where I had a situation where I knew a lot of the people that were involved, and I figured out a lot of the stuff about broadcast, and I could see, and I caught people with mind control headsets on. A lot of the things, everything that I talk about is not stuff that I've read online. So it's personal experience, and I've been going through this for many years, and I've been very close to the situation, and I know a lot of the people that have become gang stalkers in my area. So um, anyway, it's a big accomplishment for me to pass 1 million views. Um, I long ago passed a million on another um, um, platform. Looking for the right word. So, you know, it's something that people want to hear about apparently, and I'm glad to be able to help you guys that don't understand. It destroyed my life in the beginning, and it can destroy yours. And I hope that you can figure out what's going on and learn some ways to deal with it, and some things that you can start to do and the direction you need to be headed, so we can do something to stop this and stop these people, and to stop ultimately the misuse of this technology in general. Um, the goal is to gain access like they have, and otherwise, if you don't have access to it, then you know it exists, and who does? And do you trust them, even if it's just the government? Look what's happened so far. So the revolution is coming. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened on the planet Earth. Mind control, broadcast, and your thoughts aren't safe. And so it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And more people are just going to pile in and pile in. So, um, you know, that's it. There's nothing anybody can do to stop that, because you know, and if you're experiencing this, talk about it. If you can bring yourself to talk about it, even if you just post your videos privately, just document everything, just to have it all documented. Do it. Old school alarm. do a daily